If the subject is something that leads to manipulation, subjugation, and control, the playbook is the same. And it's helpful to notice how the playbook is the same, which has its roots in demonizing, discouraging critical thinking through the vortex of social shame and name-calling. Let's review the subjects you are not really allowed to question without consequences, or say an opinion slightly outside of the agreed-upon narrative as dictated by the left-leaning mainstream media and social justice media warriors, all rooted seemingly in a Marxist agenda that is ultimately at war with the idea and ideal of America and individual freedom. The subjects that immediately come to mind are COVID and the injections, the environment, the war in Ukraine, January 6th, anything around LGBTQ+, including concerns with allowing children to make permanent medical decisions before they reach puberty, the border, critical race theory. Regardless of your opinion regarding any of these issues, just notice how there is no conversation really allowed to take place around any of these rather complex issues. You aren't allowed to safely share your opinion on any of these matters unless it fits right in line with what they tell you to think. If you question their theory, for instance, that we are in the middle of a massive climate disaster and that the world will explode in 12 years or be unlivable for humanity, you get labeled anti-science. With alt-right and redneck usually thrown in there for good measure, it doesn't matter if you have scientific research on your side or highly educated people in the field letting you know that those concerns are exaggerated, who all say the world is under no real threat and nothing particularly alarming is going on outside of the reporting. But none of that matters. You will get called a name and the debate won't happen. The energy will be that you are crazy and a climate denier. And the names come with the playbook as well: climate denier, anti-science, anti-vaxxer, bigot, homophobe, racist, white supremacist. It's the same playbook for the environment as it is for COVID and the injections. Question their efficacy, question their safety, bring up valid concerns about lack of long-term tests, and the submerged yet overwhelming reports of blank and blank edited for censorship purposes, and you get labeled anti-vax and someone who doesn't care about others, a grandma killer even. Your humanity gets destroyed in the process of asking questions or analyzing valid concerns. You start noticing that this is how this plays out across all these topics. There is no civilized debate. It quickly devolves into name-calling and character assassination. And what has created an environment where hatred is seen as a virtue, where this level of dehumanization is accepted and often encouraged? And if it doesn't stop here, how far will it go? And it works both ways, really. Let's admit it, at least to some degree. Labels like sheep get thrown around, or idiots for those who don't accept what the media tells them, leveraged at those who do. And there is a certain amount of groupthink on both sides. We have to admit that. However, only one side really faces full-on attacks and censorship from big tech, and one side is clearly more concerned with limiting speech over the other. I mean, the right having concerns about some books in school libraries that may be a bit too strong for children notwithstanding, although that also has been used to accuse the right of being enemies of free speech, though let's be real. There is a difference between that and adults being able to express concerns publicly over the major issues of our day. That much really can't be denied. It's hard to imagine Trump or DeSantis enlisting a disinformation panel, for example, or attempting to criminalize questions about the environment. For me, this is the crux of what is aiding the destruction of America, zooming out from all these issues, getting out of the weeds of debating them, and seeing the style, all the conversations surrounding them, seeing what type of the style is, the conversations surrounding them. It's like the world needs group therapy to learn healthy communication, if in fact healthy communication was an ideal that people wanted to embrace. Something tells me not many are interested. But the next time you are triggered to leverage verbal violence at your brothers and sisters, try first to investigate from which it comes and why a dissenting view is so offensive. Perhaps you are running a program, for in reality, questioning things is the nature of scientific study, And so casting someone out on those grounds might be demonic in origin. At least don't be afraid to question it.